In 2008, my house went into foreclosure. It was the first time in my life I couldn't find a job. So I lost my home in Florida. I had lived there all my life for 55 years. And I ended up going onto Craigslist and renting a room from a man for about a year. And he subsequently got an offer from a friend of his who lived here in Dallas that was going to pay him well. And he was going to pay a moving company like $2,300 to move his things over here to Dallas. So I cut a deal with him. I said, well, if you give me a room to rent for 1 month free, once you get over there, I'll drive your moving van over to Dallas, because I couldn't find a job in Florida. I had no transportation. So getting a fresh start in Dallas seemed like a great idea. They have public transportation here where they did not have public transportation where I came from. It was a small town. And within a couple months of moving to Dallas, I got a job as on-site self-storage manager. And then something happened. I ended up losing a job that because of a disability that I had worked at for many, many years. And my income was reduced by 1/3. And again, I continued to struggle, and not having any family and really not having any kind of resources, because I'd always worked low-paying jobs. I ended up with no place to go. I literally had nobody to depend on. And so the Salvation Army, was there for me. I just thank God for the kindness of strangers. And so they gave me the opportunity to enter one of the programs where I could stay for 9 months and get back on my feet. Another lady that was at the Salvation Army, except she was in the Veterans Program, found out about these apartments, and I applied here and they accepted me. The Salvation Army connected me with resources that I needed because for medical care. I have long-term problems with depression. I've had depression for over 20 years. And so they provided mental health providers where I could speak with a therapist. They connected me with MetroCare so I could get my medication. And then, of course, for all the other physical problems. And that's in addition to just giving me a roof over my head and 3 meals a day and treating me with kindness and respect. And they treated everybody there with such respect, I had a retirement annuity from a government job that I had worked for 20 years. I took an early retirement due to the disability. And so that was enough to, let me get an apartment. I didn't become homeless because I had a drug problem or an alcohol problem or anything like that. I was orphaned when I was 8 and subsequently put in an abusive home. I think that the long-term effects of child abuse really affected my judgment on a lot of things. I've worked all my life since I was 14 years old. But when you're facing the world alone and you don't have any resources, you kind of end up falling through the cracks. And so that kind of follows you all through life. And I ended up, in a marriage that didn't work, and then another one that didn't work. I ended up becoming a single mom and having to raise 3 children on my own. So I honestly don't know what I would have done if the Salvation Army hadn't brought me in and said, here, rest. And that's what they did for me. They literally told me, one of the caseworkers said, just rest. And that is so important when you're out there trying to survive.